I like Murphy and Marty.
You're not like Murphy.
There's the one with the coffin outside St. Bartholomew's, where I now sing.
The coffin, oh God, I remember the coffin.
You'll bring it in a minute. In a moment.
It weaned you, didn't it?
It certainly did.
Into television.
And out again.
Want to beat me, Hash? To have you is Sean Kelly. She, Sean, English is not very good.
Sorry, will you hold on a sec?
Could you tell me about it basic? Have you?
I think some Sean Kelly.
Did you see, it's funny, yeah.
You seem to be winning all over the world.
Particularly to be caught out by a like you. You know, smooth talking like you.
I was only copying you.
I know.
It's very nice to meet you, Sean. I'm very pleased.
Pleased to meet you.
Very, very pleased to meet you. Thank you very much. You say goodbye to the people in Iceland. Wavy to the...
Good luck to the people in Iceland.
Goodbye.
We were doing it on the basis we have a camera crew today. We won't have them tomorrow. We have to think of something to do, or as many as we can do, and in places as close to each other as we possibly can, so that we're stockpiling a few. It was just on the hoof.
Is the electric going underneath there?
Yeah, it goes all the way down there.
Does it? Whereabouts? Tell us how it's right here, will you?
Well, it runs in a straight line more or less all the way down.
Does it?
Yeah.
All right, Mr. McColgan says it's all right to go ahead.
I reckon then nobody in Ireland would have thought that this was going to happen. Like, and definitely not happen to them at that time. Like, his best disguise ever. He'd like Clark Kent, just puts in a pair of false teeth. And there's this disguise, and people go, looks awful like Mike Murphy, but it couldn't be him.
Well, I don't know.
Will I take the pump out first? That pump is set.
Listen,
Pump
we
set
need
at
to-
3 inches.
Well, yeah.
Just the middle one.
We can do it with this. I can...
Dermot and myself did the one, it was down in Black Rock, down in Booterstown somewhere. And I remember it was very, very funny. Because there was a young man minding the place for a while. The guy who did the petrol was off, and he was having. I mean, the poor guy didn't know how to handle it.
Yeah, what now?
I know, no, if you break it up, then all you.
See, yeah, I know. See, that wouldn't be any use to him anyhow. That sort of pump.
Yeah, we can put them into somewhere else.
Look,
Use them in another garage.
Look, you go on back there. We'll walk away, right?
I know, I don't stand it like getting your man up.
We don't need him.
You do?
He doesn't need to be here, you know. As long as we get the authorization of a person on the premises, we're all right.
I don't work here anymore. I used to work here, you see.
I know what you mean, but it doesn't matter. You see, that's all. As long as we have your name and address, we have authorization. Don't you know what I mean?
Yeah, but...
Right, we can walk away there.
Give me a hand over it to get the pick into it. Would you just put the end of the pick under it? We'll give it a tug between us. We'll give it a hand up between us.
I'll hold
Just get
that.
the end of the...
Right.
Just the pump, just to prise it up.
Yeah.
Just to leave it off. Is it heavy?
Petrol is on the way out.
I know that.
You know, gas needs to be put in.
Yeah, well, you can't put the gas in until the gaffer gets here.
No, we don't need the gaffer to be here because you are here as the man on the premises.
Yeah, but even though I'm the man on the premises, I don't work here.
Well, that is, you see,
I used to work here.
according to the law, William, you don't need to be. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As long as you are the person.
Wait. Don't start.
He was gone.
You see, you know what I mean? Like, there's your drink.
And for me, I think one of the funniest images of all, out of all the years, was when I had the sledgehammer and I was lifting it to knock the pump down, and he positioned himself against the pump. I say, you can't do it. You can't do it. It was going to kill me, but don't knock the pump down. And I just thought, that's surreal.
I'm happy enough, you know, once you get the authorisation from the person on the site, in situ, you're all right. You know, this is legal jargon.
It may be legal, but when your man comes back and says, you put bleeding gas in and we want the petrol. You know?
No, I think he'd be very pleased, actually. You see,
very pleased.
this garage has been selected. Thanks very much, William.
I know, wait. Now, your man will be back in a couple of minutes.
It doesn't lift out, it's not well.
Wait.
Hang on.
See, he'd give the odd cheeky look to the crew. That's what we used to love.
Are you sure?
He'd just give that odd kind of
Are you sure?
little eye to you, like, this is going well, isn't it?
If you knock that down, I mean...
All right.
You know...
Well, I'll tell you, William, do you enjoy the television?
The television?
I'm Mike Murphy from RTE.
You know? You can't say.
Yeah, there's the camera over there.
People, I think, believed that there was no telly mic and off telly mic, that there was the one and the same sort of fella. And I think that people were warm to that, so when he was off winding people up, you kind of got the feeling if the cameras weren't there, he'd be doing it anyway.
It was never really acting. You kind of got into a mode whereby I used to I'd be watching the other person very closely, and I'd be kind of seeing how far could I go, or what way could I bring this, where could I take this, and how much would I be able to get away with this. And that's, I was winging that all the time.
Can we watch the rest of them?
Hey, tuna porn. Fun nød fi funny pa. Antuna kan to qua nød for funny pa. Una har funnet den om prøv qua funix pa. Mødte him som vituna til at bære. Antai? Jeg sagde det. Tuna qua.
Only Higgin.
Burde høre til Ars Universitet.
Duke, Edward.
You come from Finland? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we do. We're very fond of Finland, in fact. Yeah. We like to live Finland. Tuna pa. Tuna pa. Yeah. So, what can I do? You are you all from Finland? Tuna pa. Yes. Father, do you know anything about this language? You know this language, Father?
Mike is a great character actor. He always was. And he's also so composed where he can just remain very still.
What is gelding?
Oh, that's, yes, Courthorse. Sorry. Courthorse. If you like to put it, gelding. Yes, another word, yes. It's a stallion who has been, who's not a stallion. Not a He's a courthorse.
You speak slowly?
Not a full horse.
It's not a mare. Not an entire... He's castrated. He is a woman horse.
No gender. No gender.
Schöne Banner für die Auswend. Tanken und Fischen an Weine dünn. I am not so. I wish I knew what you were talking about. Thank you. Very sorry, have I put on you? No. No, you were very good, really, honestly. Now, you're kidding me. My name is Mike Murphy from RTE. Oh, you're not Mike Murphy.
We had no life while that series was on. I couldn't go in to do grocery shopping. I couldn't go into a shop to buy clothes. People would come and say, out, get out the door, you.
What kind of car is this? A Nissan Datsun. Datsun, Japanese model. I didn't know they took diesel.
No, that's not diesel. I don't want that. I don't want diesel.
But this is diesel.
Well, that was one of the ones where I followed Mike. Mike had done one of those, and I just thought it was such a classic idea. And the brown coat and pretended to be the idiot on the forecourt.
A metro diesel.
No, it's not. They're not putting diesel into it, are you?
This is the diesel pump.
Oh, Jesus, don't put diesel into it. No, stop diesel. Please don't. Stop.
Well, I didn't. I put 4 pounds in pork and throw it in.
Okay, stop. Take it out immediately. It's not diesel. It's petrol.
Well, I thought, why did you put it in the diesel pump?
I didn't know it was the diesel pump.
Well, maybe if I put petrol in on top of the diesel. Take everything that's in it out. Yeah, but if I put more petrol in on top of it, might I lose it? What do I have to do? Well, if you leave the car at the lunchtime, I get some of the lads, and we can turn on its side and empty it. Are you sure that's diesel? This is diesel, yeah. I'll tell you what. Will you hold up for a second? Now, if you start sucking when I tell you.
And another gentleman that's shown sat beside me in school for 5 years, and he didn't recognise me at the time.
Get the diesel out of it and get it out of it now.
And he kept disappearing behind a pillar, so I had to keep pulling him by the elbow to get him in shot.
I thought you were going to give me a dig.
Oh, Jesus, man, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
He was laughing for 20 minutes afterwards, yeah.
Irish people love a wind-up. And anytime you see someone getting a wind-up, it's just, ha, 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 caught you sap. And I think that's probably why it's better to wind up Irish people than wind up people anywhere else in the world. Like.
See the camera. Would you like to wave at it?
Ah, jeez.
Well, give it to me.
Like half angry, but half knowing that if they had a half a chance, they'd do it to you as well.
Amazing what people will do, isn't it? If they see it's a figure of authority.
Yeah.
Or else someone persistent enough. Somebody persistent enough, you know, they will, just to get rid of you. They'll do what you want.
Here's the gardens.
The gardens.
No, Lord, and I usually buy that when I need it, and I thought it was imported. I didn't think we could grow it in our climate.
This one will be no good to you because this is a cannibal plant.
I see. I know what you mean.
Right.
So.
That's a cannibal. That eats itself up. You know,
So it's
if any plants go near to it,
it'll eat it too.
it eats itself up.
I see. Do you know what I was particularly looking for? Eryngium, the one Miss Wilmot's ghost. Have you that?
We're fresh out of that one. We have some very nice Nasturtium orasicus.
What does it look like?
It's about, it's green and it's about that size.
Perennial?
Pardon?
Perennial?
No, we haven't any.
They're not a tiny neat one, are they?
No, they're a big bushy one.
Yeah, I'd like a good eryngium. As I say, I have an awful lot of her. It's mostly herbaceous.
There's nothing
is that
like
just
a
the
nice...
perennial rudbeckia? Or is it herbaceous?
Herbaceous.
It's herbaceous. If you keep repeating yourself.
This is the best pot that we have here.
Yeah.
Now,
No.
this is...
It's
do you roll your own?
No.
I really didn't all that often feel the urge to laugh because I was much more interested in seeing where can I take this.
I moved her back. Candidly, one died on me, all right.
Have you... One what?
One rose.
One rose died on you?
One died.
How did it die? What did you do?
I probably didn't remove enough of the roots. I broke some of the roots and I probably died of thirst.
You allowed it to die of thirst?
Suppose I did. They're guilty on the first charge.
Are you a bit
But I moved
upset about that, or are you just going to accept that as most people
Well, so
do?
what can I do? But I can't bring back his life now. I can't bring back his life.
You were upset about it?
Well, I am insofar as I...
But were you genuinely upset?
It was a pity I lost it. Of course I was, because I had it about 5 or 6 years.
I would find that my brain would start going cooler and cooler as the thing went on, when everybody else was getting hotter and hotter. And I was able to just keep it going.
How about that?
What is that going on?
That's very good. Now, the only thing, it doesn't like noise. That's why I'm speaking quietly. Don't make too much noise, because you'll notice that the little petals, there we are now, because you were laughing like that. Look at the little petals are closing in.
Well, do you plant it or what? Or do you keep it in a pot?
No, what you have to do with that one is, do you know the windowsill? If you put it out into the garden and attach a string from the plant to the windowsill, because unfortunately they have a little flair for movement, and otherwise it'll be gone, you know. At night time they entwine. So keep it away from other plants.
Yeah.
Because it goes mad for other plants.
Okay.
But the great thing about these is that if you have any flies at all, they'll attract them. Oh, they go black with flies. They're great little ones, you know.
What's it there? It's a small one. How high does that go then?
About, to the lamppost there. In exceptional cases, they go as high as that. You see the stone inside there?
Yeah.
You see, it'll take them and eat them. It'll eat a stone, it'll eat anything that's passing. And the thing is that it'll attract all the rats from the house to it.
Oh, so you don't leave them there.
So you won't have the rats. They'll come to the plant, the rats will, but they won't be in the house.
There's no parsley.
No, that's right. No, we don't have any parsley in there at all because it attracts rats. Parsley. Right. Do you like gardening?
No.
Do you not? Do you like being on television?
No.
Do you not? God, that's a terrible pity. I'm Mike Murphy from RTE.
No.
Will you be telling me you're on television, won't you?
I was on television? When?
You're on now. I'm Mike Murphy. You were wonderful, Odette. Stop following me around. I'm a married man, you know.
They're all looking at me now.
They are. Look at that.
Oh, God, I've had no idea in my hair.
Here in Trinity College, Dublin, that is one of the most respected schools of medicine in the world. Indeed, for over 100 years now, they've led the field in the area of medical research and preventative medicine.
On the hoof.
Is the electric going underneath there?
Yeah, it goes all the way down there.
Does it? Whereabouts? Tell us show us right here, will you?
Well, it runs in a straight line more or less all the way down.
Does it?
Yeah.
All right, Mr. McColgan says it's all right to go ahead.
I reckon then nobody in Ireland would have thought that this was going to happen. Like, and definitely not happen to them at that time. Like, his best disguise ever. He's like Clark Kent. Just puts in a pair of false teeth. And there's this disguise, and people go, looks awful like Mike Murphy, but it couldn't be him.
Well, I don't know.
Will I take the pump out first? That pump is set.
Listen,
Pump
we
set
need
at
to-
3 inch.
No,
Yeah.
Just the middle one.
We can do it with this. I can
Dermot and myself did the one. It was down in Black Rock, down in Booterstown somewhere, and I remember it.
I think some Sean Kelly.
You see, it's funny. Yeah.
You seem to be winning all over the world.
Particularly to be caught out by a like you. You know, smooth talking like you.
I was only copying you.
I know.
It's very nice to meet you, Sean. I'm very pleased.
Pleased to meet you.
Very, very pleased to meet you. Thank you very much. You say goodbye to the people in Iceland. Wavy to the...
Good luck to the people in Iceland.
Goodbye.
We were doing it on the basis we have a camera crew today. We won't have them tomorrow. We have to think of something to do, or as many as we can do, and in places as close to each other as we possibly can, so that we're stockpiling a few. It was just. It weaned you, didn't it?
It certainly did.
Into television.
And out again.
Want to be to me, Hash? Is Sean Kelly. She, Sean, English is not very good.
Sorry, will you hold on a sec?
Could you tell me about it basic? How
I'm Mike Murphy from RTE.
You're not Mike Murphy.
There's the one with the coffin outside St. Bartholomew's, where I now sing.
The coffin, oh God, I remember the coffin.
You'll bring it in a minute. In a moment.
It was very, very funny because there was a young man minding the place for a while. The guy who did the petrol was off, and he was having. I mean, the poor guy didn't know how to handle it.
Yeah, what the?
If you break it up, the damn all you.
See, yeah, I know. See, that wouldn't be any use to him anyhow, that sort of pump.
Yeah, but to put them into somewhere else.
Look,
You'll find another garage.
look, you come on back there. We'll walk away, right?
I know you. Don't stand like getting your man up.
We don't need him.
You do.
He doesn't need to be here, you know. As long as we get the authorization of a person on the premises, we're all right.
I don't work here anymore. I used to work here, you see.
I know what you mean, but it doesn't matter. You see, that's all. As long as we have